You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen. And if you watch this video, you'll know how to play Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in simple 3-note chords. All right, let's do it. All right, here's the chord sheet for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We're going to start with the chorus, the most recognizable part of the song. And you know that chord sheet has the lyrics of the song, and then above the lyrics we have these capital letters that tell us which chords to play and when. So what chord do we need first? We need the G chord. So we're going to find the G on the piano, the major third, the fifth, and that gives us a simple 3-note G major chord. All the chords in this song are chords that we've played before in other tutorials, so I'm not going to go through how to build the chords. I'll just show you what they are, and we'll fly through it. We only need one other chord for the chorus, and that's the D. That's D major right there. Okay. Now the easiest way to play the chorus is to play each chord one time when you see it, and that would sound like this. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All right, now this song is in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can play a chord on each of the ones of that 4 count, and that would sound like this. G, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. Or we could play on the 1 and the 3. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, like that. Or we could play on each one of the 4 counts, and that would be G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounds pretty good. Let's try that for the chorus with the lyrics. G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows like a light bulb. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. All right, that's the whole chorus. Moving on to the bridge. So the bridge, it probably makes more sense to play each chord just one time when we see it. I think it sounds better, and the chords switch more often in the bridge than they do in the chorus. So we're going to start with the C chord. There's our C, and then we're going to go on to the G chord. Each one of these 2 chords is going to get 4 counts. C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and then the next 2 chords, A minor and D, are each going to get 2 counts. So that will sound like this. A minor, 2, D, 2, and then we move on to G, 2, 3, 4, like that. Let's try that with the lyrics and take it a little bit more slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, A minor, then D, then G, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then moving on to the next D. Rudolph with, by the way, you can play the D up here, you can play it down here. It's up to you, whatever sounds better or is easiest to play. Rudolph with your nose so bright. And now we come to A7. Now, we've seen 7th chords before in other tutorials, and what I usually tell you is that if you're trying to play the most simple version of a song, you can just ignore the 7 and play what's remaining. In this case, that would be A. A is remaining, and that's A major. We've already played the A minor in this song. That's A minor. To make a minor chord major, you take that minor third and you make it a major third. And so we could play Rudolph with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And that A is on a hit like that. Now, if you want to add the 7, it's this note here. It's this G, the minor 7 of the chord. You could play it up here, or what's probably the easiest way to do it is to play it down here. That gives you the 7th, a little bit lower. Let's try that together. Back to the D. Rudolph with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Also, you could play D7. Sounds pretty nice. All right, and then moving on to the outro. The outro is very similar to the chorus. We're going to start with G. Then how the reindeer loved him, as they shouted out with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Nice job. You can make the ending a little bit more interesting. You'll go down in history. Something like that. All right, and then the only part that's remaining is the intro. So all the way back to the beginning for the intro. The intro has a little bit of a different feel. We're going to start with the C chord. Play the C chord, and the next chord is B minor. We don't see that chord. We haven't seen that chord in a lot of the songs that I've done before, but here it is. B, the minor third, and then the fifth. That's our B minor. And then we move on to the A minor chord, which is the same shape as the C chord that we played. And then after A minor, we go to G. Now the convenient thing is that we're playing C. We start with C. Our thumb is playing the root of the chord all the time. We're going to go from C to B to A to G. Okay, let's try that line slowly. Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen. The next line. C, then B minor, A minor, then G. Same chords. And then we move on to the E minor. We can play that down here. But do you recall up to the A major? Then the next chord is A7. You can just play A again, the most famous reindeer of all. Or, again, we can play that A7 by adding the 7 down here. The most famous reindeer of all. And adding a 7th there if you like. Or up here. Okie dokie. That's the whole song. You now know how to play all the chords for the whole song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Excellent. Before we finish up, let's give it one pass through playing with 4-note chords. Now, if we're going to play 4-note chords, if you've seen in some of my intermediate videos, instead of playing a 3-note C chord, for instance, with one hand, we're going to play with 2 hands. So we're going to use our left thumb to play the root, the C, use our right thumb to play the 3rd, our index finger to play the 5th. That's the same 3-note chord that we're playing with one hand, and then that allows us to play an octave above this C. So we have the C and then C here. And that's our simple 4-note C major chord. Now let's take a look at the next chord, B minor. If we're going to play B minor, it says B minor 7, but this would be a B minor right here. So that's our B minor, and we add in an octave from the root. If we're going to play B minor 7, instead of playing up here an octave from the root, we're going to play this A right here. That's going to give us B minor 7. That's a nice sounding chord, right? A minor would be this. A minor 7 would be this here. Okay? We've already played A7. If we played A major with no 7, it would be this. And then D major, D7 would be this note instead. All right? I think those are all the 7th notes. I think we're all set. Let's give it a shot. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. The bridge. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? On to the outro. Then how the reindeer loved him. You can add in this note here anytime you want, the second. Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee. Same thing with the D. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. There it is, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, simple 3-note chords and 4-note chords. Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks, we'll see you in the next video.